Welcome back, YouTube family. It's your girl Perry back with some spiritual tea. Here, drinking my morning tea and decorating my own brochure for my business. So this makes me feel super adult-like. Anyhow, I have some, thoughts that I want to share with you guys. Of course, my brain is always active. It's not an overactive imagination. It's like truth, right? So here we go. The thought of the week. That really was just mind-blowing because then I started to look into the different... I Googled it. Y'all, I Googled it. Just like everybody else can do. So the thought is if metal is so poisonous, the metal in the cars, lithium, the metal in your bra. So I don't wear them no more. I don't wear like the push-up metal bras. I mean, I do have two left, if the laundry ain't where it should be. But besides that, I don't wear. There is the metal in the phones, the mercury in the phones, all these things that literally our body absorbs because our energy either transmutes or transforms and we become a product to what is around us, physically, spiritually, emotionally, financially, all of it. Okay? And remember that one little statement, because after that I'm going to talk to you about the Ninja Turtles, which is so funny to me, about transmuting and transforming into the things around us. But what we're going to first start off with is how metal was here so long ago and we buried it. Those are the layers of Earth's crust. Now you got to remember, if Gaia is a reflection of us and we're a reflection of Gaia, Mother Earth, that means we share a lot of the same things with our bodies. That's why it's so cool to get to know your body, because then you get to know Earth. Or it's so cool to get to know Earth because then you get to know your body. It'd be so weird, like how the trees are your fingers and the bushes are your thumbs and the hair all over your body is grass. So whenever you cut a tree, it has all those circles in it, and you look at your thumbprint and it's got circles in it. Why do you think that they take our fingerprints? Because they know who we are. A lot of people know who we are, but we don't know who we are. Isn't that absolutely unheard of? It's just... So then I asked the question, sorry to jump back and forth. I asked the question, how did these poisonous metals get here if we shouldn't use them? And this whole time, it was like a big old mind F. The light bulb dinged at the top of the head, and I'm thinking, oh my God. This whole time they weren't digging for oil, you guys. This fight wasn't never about oil. It was never about oil. So when they go digging, all across the world for gas, that's not what they was digging for. That's a plus for them. It's like taking our plasma. So when they take our blood, it's super like liquid gold. When they take the oil out, it's like liquid gold to the physical stuff. But what they was really trying to get to was Gaia's bones. So if you were to go through our body, you go through our skin and then you get our blood and muscle tissue and all that other stuff, and then you hit the bone that's in the body, right? So the bone in the body is like metal. That's why they even recreate some body parts with titanium pieces, like the bionic whatever. I know somebody that has a titanium leg from a car accident. That is what they would use. But what had happened was, and a lot of this stuff goes off like our minds, it is so weird. They've been going down deep into the Earth's crust to dig up the poisonous metal all this time. It was never about the oil. Never. So then I started to look into what our bones are made of, and if we had if we had mercury in us. Yo, tell me why our bones are filled with all the toxins. It's filled with mercury. It's filled with aluminum, and because you can find that stuff in your deodorant. Not mine personally, but the deodorant that they provide. The government, Walmart, So those things are all actually stored in your bones, creating them to be hard. Now, I don't know if y'all know about mercury, but at like room temperature, 70 something degrees, it's like liquefied. But depending on if it goes up or down, you know, it becomes a solid. But we do know that if mercury goes solid, it's like becoming a statue. Like, all I can think of is gargoyle. Then we're not able to move as much. So, you know, whenever it rains or whatever, or it's cold, our bodies, especially like elder people, their bones start hurting and stuff like that. It's because the toxins in their body are getting hardened. And so it's very hard for them to move. And as we get older and more toxins come into our body, we're not as flexible as we used to be. That's why people do yoga. It has surprised me so much that I never would have connected all of these dots. Now, I will, throughout this video, post some of the things that I have found on the intranet about what I am talking about, because it's crazy. The fight, I mean, the oil did a lot for the government, you know, with all the gas prices, and we worry about that stuff. We worry about stuff that shouldn't even be worried about. Everything that Earth has inside of her, we got inside of us. Like, we can live without none of this. So in 2001, 9/11, they really did us in. I mean, that was the biggest thing that they've done in our lifetime. But like before that was the trip to the moon. That one was funny because the moon is a whole nother BS. Like, the way that they got to the moon was they faked it. So then people started thinking, we have to get this out. We have to get this out. In 1970, 60, whatever year that was that they went to the moon, and everyone was like, nah, that's a conspiracy. That's a conspiracy. They didn't go then, but they may have now. They did it now. Okay? Because when they faked the trip to the moon, which we're the ones that put up there, we put that up there with our imagination, bro. It's weird. And they created it into something like they're trying to take over a planet. Like, they're trying to take it over. But once they did that and showed it off to the whole TV, you know what they did? They started testing people's minds. And y'all know what happened in the 60s, 70s, 80s, how they was testing on us. They could read our minds, so that the smart ones, all the gods on the planet, would be talking. They'd be like, you know what? I don't think that they went to the moon because you'd have to have this, this, and this, and this. Oh, so, you know, these people write it down. We need this to get there. We need this to get there. And by, you know, 5 to 10 years later, after everyone's been like, this is how you would get to the moon. This is how you would get to the moon. Because they did not know. They did not know how to get there. They used us. So then they created using our powers. So anytime, like, they'd ask these people, oh, well, I want you to come work in my underground tunnel, Area 51. I want you to come work. And I know that this stuff has happened because when I tell you I know somebody that was asked to build planes, who didn't work for the military, but built planes for the military because they were so smart that they have a genius IQ. And this person became a sellout, Freemason. It was weird. These beings, they know, and they will come for you, and they will ask for you specifically because you're smart, and they know you know. Regardless, back to whatever I was saying, is that they created the moon mission. That was the first, like, whoa, y'all didn't even see the behind the scenes. The second thing was 9/11, the biggest thing that happened in my life. I still remember that whole day. But the thing is, you know, they had advanced so far into technology during the 1960s, 70s, 80s, 90s experiments on our brain that every time that they received information and downloads from us by studying us, MK Ultra, all these things, they was creating. They just, because they had all the money and the resources. So they're just creating and creating and creating. That's why they're so far into the future with our ideas. The planes for 9/11, I don't care what nobody say, bruh. Hologram. Okay? Just like they're about to have these phones, when you're talking to people through FaceTime, it's going to be holographic. They have holographic concerts. Like, let's just be real. If it's here now, what makes you think that it wasn't here 20-something years ago? They hide everything from us. When that happened and they started that war in Afghanistan, whatever it was like how Haiti is. Haiti has refused to let the government take over them. They're very proud of that. They was trying to do the same thing over there. You're not coming in here. But they knew that down under there, pinpointed, was an abundance of oil and metal. Mostly metal because they needed it for the future. Okay? They needed all this metal to build our phones, to build our space cars, Tesla, to do all of this stuff, to build these high-rise buildings. All of it was buried in the ground because we've been through this war over and over and over and over again. So the same thing would happen if you cut a bone and you dissected it. We'd have the same things inside of us. We already do. But that is that. Whenever I come up with more thoughts on it, I will. I just figured I'd let everybody know that this whole time they Jewed us. What? Then the next thing I wanted to talk about was the Ninja Turtles, because I've tried to explain to you the moon is going to be laser beamed out of the eye because it's one eye, but that eye goes to sleep and the sun stays shining all day. So it's just the same as our eyes. And you have the eye of Ra and the eye of Horse. The moon would be the eye of Horse. The eye of Ra would be God. So you have, my thing is, I don't like being called a king or a queen because I'm not that. I am a God. Now the people that came up after me, cool. Y'all can be kings and queens all day, but that's not me. I'm not a king or a queen. I am God. I am a creator. I don't even need the S at the end because it's just one source. I am a God at the beginning of the day and at the end of the day. Always. So with that being said, when creation basically restarts itself, y'all have seen how people get eye surgery with a laser. This is going to be the same thing. And they are making laser weapons. I mean, they already have them, but they're making them now. It's very interesting, you guys. The world's about to get interesting. It's going to be like some stuff you really seen in the movies. But we're going to laser beam the moon out of out of the sky. I seen it. And it's going to fall into the ocean, basically like this big old terrarium fell into the ocean. And they also have this mission of taking all the sperm and all the egg donations and they're sending it off to the moon, which I will post, like Noah's Ark. And I used to have a video that talked about Noah's Ark. Like, that's a piece of shit. That story is a lie. It's not like what you think that it is. It said take two specimens of each. A specimen goes in a little scientific jar. That's how you know this stuff we've already been here. We've already done that. So when that gets shot out into the sky, you got to think about all the things or people that were here. When our energy goes into something, like I said, it either transforms or transmutes. The God gene is going to automatically transform or transmute spiritually, not physically. Spiritually, it's going to transmute to the highest vibration. One of the highest vibrational things in the ocean today is the turtle. Okay, that's why they called that the turtle island and all of that stuff. So whenever it fell down and the energy had to become something, it's going to remember its human body parts, but it's going to transmute in with the turtle. Boom. Yo, Ninja Turtles is real. I cracked myself up. But the Ninja Turtles is based off of us transforming into a different, I don't even know what to say. I don't want to say like species. I don't want to say, but you have to think. We've talked about this, the Ninja Turtles, the like Sasquatch. There's going to be, there was the half horse, half man for the Sagittarius. There is the Catwoman. We could go about we already know the other half here is half canine and half human, or half, I don't know. But there's a lot of us mixed up here, and we're about to see that come into, a mermaid, half fish, half human. So it's shown you over and over again that these beings are real. So don't be freaked out when you see them. Fairies. Smurfs. Smurfs come out of the little mushrooms. I am determined that Smurfs are actually little sperm. If y'all watch my last video about what mushrooms are, and if Smurfs live in mushrooms and the mushroom is a penis, then it would technically be sperm. It's like the life of sperm, but they did it in a cartoon, and so it wouldn't be too out there. But it's true. And it's funny because all those are from thoughts of us. They literally watch our thoughts all the time. Watch our thoughts and then create them as if it's their own, so that they look like they are the gods when they're not. The government thinks that they control everything, but they don't. You have to realize they stole our land. They stole our thoughts. They stole everything. Everything. Even the time machine. Wait till y'all realize a time machine is real. Because we have our own time machine right up in here. But whenever I tell you, it's like the butterfly effect. When they got a hold of it, just like anytime they get a hold of anything, the moon, the laser beams, anytime they get a hold of something, they wreck our lives. They wreck it. They ruin it. And so the faster people start realizing that even the stuff that I'm saying, it sounds crazy. Yo, wake up, because this is real life. This is real life. And either you will get left behind, like the Bible dang says, or you're gonna fight for what's yours, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, financially, because we have an obligation here, especially if y'all have kids. I have children, so for me, this stuff is important. For some people, it may not be that important because they don't have any way that they can't even reincarnate through a line. Like, in order for you to die and being reincarnated back here, you come through that same lineage. And if you ain't got no kids, because kids are the future, because their kids will soon be us, you gotta fight. Because if I died in 1,000 years from now, and I got my little people's kids, grandkids, great-grandkids, and they all sleep, I'm gonna come back to hell. And look, I'm tired of fighting. So I'm gonna teach my kids now the truth, so that they never let these people control them, lie to them, manipulate, deceive, all that. So whenever I come back, it'll still be just like I left it, heaven on earth. You're welcome. Have a great Wednesday. Last thing that I want to add in this video is there will be what they call a food shortage, but there's actually no such thing as a food shortage, since Earth is abundant with food no matter what, because anytime a seed falls into the ground, it's going to recreate itself. Just like whenever you see dandelions blow across a field and then magically you have all these dandelions. That is how our food source is. It is actually just capitalism, okay? They are going to skyrocket the food prices, and they know that a lot of people aren't going to be able to afford it. There's no such thing as a food shortage. Now, my thought to counteract that one is we ain't never gonna starve, even if this is gonna sound so crazy, y'all, but hear me out. Especially if, we're supposed to have men and women come together, no matter what. Y'all ain't never gonna go hungry or thirsty with a female that reproduces, okay? We create breast milk all the time. There ain't no way that anybody in this world can go hungry or thirsty when you got a woman that produces all the nutrients that you need. Now, it may sound gross, but I bet you if you're starving or you're dehydrated or thirsty, you gonna drink that breast milk. And if it got our kids through their whole lives, because most people, you know, they be breastfeeding till kids are 5 years old. If they can live off of it, so can we. And that also reminds me, one last thing. When we was talking about the bones and everything earlier with all the toxins in it, did you know that you don't grow kneecaps until you're about 2 years old? And when you're a baby, it's almost impossible for you to break a baby's bone because their bones are so flexible that those are the child horror stories to me. When a baby is abused and they have broken bones, that means it was forceful, very, very, very forceful, because it is so hard to break a baby bone. That's why when babies are born, everyone's like, oh, I'm gonna break it, trying to put a shirt on or change the baby's diaper, when literally they are you could drop a baby for real and they're not gonna break, I promise you. So I just wanted to make that clear, that we are going back to our like normal state and our bones will be flexible like a baby's. And we have to clear all the toxins out. And there's no such thing as a food shortage, because we have everything that we need right here, or as I should say, right here. Yeah. See y'all later. When you're so excited that you be thinking you're done with the video, but you're not, I had to add this in here too. As I was looking up stuff about metal in our bodies, I also learned that we are, you know, carbonated beings, the copper and gold, how important that is to us. And there's another one too, I'll have to put that in here. But they're the 3 top important metals, and they are one with us. We are those things. Come to find out that they are non-magnetic. Now you see everybody posting these videos with all these, oh, I believe it's silver. I think it's silver, copper, and gold. Anyways, we'll definitely put the correct thing in here so there's no miscommunications. But there is no magnetic, they actually repel. So you got to think about this. As times move forward, if we are becoming more of our true selves, that means we're going to start repelling the people that have the poisonous toxins in their body. And you also have to remember, since we are carbonated beings, what does carbon/charcoal do? It filters things. So not only is it going to filter the air and everything else as we pass a 5G tower, it's also going to filter these people away from us. It's going to literally repel them away as we become more godlike. Dang, I just deleted. As we become more godlike and they become more manlike, which is robotic, you gonna see that these people, it's not even that they don't even like you no more, like your family members and all that other things. They cannot come into a radius with you because our bodies and our vibrations will not let them. So that is another thing to learn, that I learned, is gold and copper, they also conduct electricity, which we are electric. We are our own electrical beings. Like I said, we have everything inside of us and we don't need no help from the government. And once people start to realize that, this world that we live in is going to be a much better place, because we are stronger and more powerful than them. That's why clearly they're scared, as if y'all don't see what's going on. And in my next video, after, you know, I start the rest of my day, I'll probably post it tomorrow or something, maybe. Yo, I got the sickness, okay? I'm not even gonna say the name, but I'm pretty sure I got it. No, I didn't go to no doctor, I would never. But the symptoms and everything were exactly the same. And then I'll tell you how I fixed it. And there's no coincidence. I literally got a text within a week later that someone close to me in my immediate family got it too. And I'm thinking, no coincidences. So, next time, next video. See y'all soon.